Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and I'm not gonna lie, a story like this makes me very happy. Anything that can put a solid dent into the Kardashian armor or their empire is entirely okay with me. And I mean this in the most utmost ethical, by-the-books, Elliot Ness sort of way. I want this done in a clean and professional manner to showcase how crappy these people are. So this particular story makes me happy that they're getting called out for their spurious attempt at trying to cover up their FTC guideline violations when it comes to sponsored content. And as a person who has engaged in a couple sponsored content ads, I want them to be on the up and up. If we all have to do it, everyone should definitely keep an eye on everybody else to make sure that people aren't violating the law, right? Especially here in the United States. In the UK, it's totally different. These laws don't exist, or they don't, at the last of my knowledge, they might have changed. But here in the US, you have to abide by the FTC guidelines if you want to do sponsored content. So let's just take a look here at what Truth in Advertising was able to find out about the Kardashian clan. Saying here that a little over a year ago, truthinadvertising.org filed a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission against the Kardashian-Jenner sisters for publishing social media posts that failed to clearly and conspicuously disclose material connections to brands or the fact the posts were paid ads, as required by federal law. Now, a year later, a follow-up investigation has revealed that while they fixed some posts in the original sampling, Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie continue to skirt the law with their social media promotions. That's a lot of K's in those names. And yeah, no, this happens. This happens frequently. People don't, they don't want to admit that something's an ad, because oftentimes if they admit something's an ad, then they get looked at negatively by their audience. Lord knows when I did an advertisement for a couple companies, people are just like, chill. And I'm like, I still have to get paid, right? I don't make a lot of money doing this, so any opportunity that comes up, I'm going to look into it and I might take it. The Kardashians are very similar, and I don't fault them for their capitalistic ways, but you still have to be on the up and up. Now, Tina collected a sampling of more than 200 posts from Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat published by the Kardashian-Jenner women after they were made aware of social media disclosure issues in August 2016. Multiple brands are repeat offenders from last year as well, including Puma, Manuka Doctor, Jetlux, Fit Tea, and Sugar Bear Hair. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are these companies kind of turning a blind eye, looking the other way when it comes to the Kardashian clan? Well, the reason why is because they don't care. It's not on them. They're not going to be the ones that have to, adhere to this kind of stuff. They're not going to be the ones that will get in trouble because they're paying people to promote them ethically, and they don't care because it's not going to impact them in the long run, which is true. It's like, when I did a job earlier this year, I did a sponsored video that came in through a FameBit offer originally, and I had to go through and I had to read and sign a full-on disclosure agreement that I would be promoting this in an ethical way, that I would have all the proper disclosure that is needed. It went through a vetting process by their legal team before it even went up online. These are things you have to do. Instagram's a little bit different because it's just like, let's just post the photo, of us with beats or us with something. And, they get paid a lot of money for it. I mean, their industry, their empire, I should say, is I don't even know how many millions of dollars. I heard somewhere like 400 million a year is what combined they make. I mean, that's insane amounts of money. They're going to want to protect as much as they can, because eventually their star will fade and they'll have to rely on their hundreds of millions of dollars. Woe is them, right? Anyway, even when Kim and company do include some sort of disclosure language, Tina.org has found that the jargon often falls short of the FTC's standard on clear, unambiguous language. Tina has compiled dozens of instances in which women make half-hearted attempts at disclosure through the use of cryptic hashtags such as hashtag SP, meaning sponsored, hashtag PW collab, short for Protein World Collaboration, and hashtag KJ4EL roughly translates to Kendall Jenner for Estee Lauder. That's not even really an official thing, but it might be enough to skirt by FTC guidelines. Maybe. But it's still very shady. Why can't you just put hashtag ad? hashtag sponsored. Like, it's not that hard. Disclosure is not that hard. But again, they don't want to risk alienating and angering their audience who might see that and go, I really want to have what Kourtney Kardashian has. Like, I need that pair of headphones or that Protein Life drink because she uses that. What do you mean it's a sponsored post? Like, she doesn't actually use that and I'm just being used by her to sell product? Whatever, she still uses it. Like, they don't care. They're not going to care because they're not going to see it. The disclosure is not for the audience because their kind of audience is vapid enough to not ever pay attention. And may anger some Kardashian fans out there. I'm sorry. You guys don't pay attention. You watch the Kardashians. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion that's lasted 10 years. Eventually, people will get over it. But no, it's not there for them. It's there for the ethical guidelines. It's there for the proper usage, the proper rules and regulations to be followed. Now, it says here that in other cases, the Kardashian Jenners belatedly disclosed social media posts as sponsored, waiting hours or even days to reveal the true identity of the post. And here's a screenshot of that. So you got the original here from Kourtney Kardashian. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? Hashtag or at JetLuxLife. Okay, so she's clearly on a private jet. Clearly, I don't know if she's, I don't think the ad is for Grey Poupon. All right, clearly she's trying to use an old 90s, ad slogan. So at this point, she's trying to meme. And I don't think Kourtney Kardashian wrote that herself, to be perfectly honest with you. But then the follow-up over here says, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon at JetLuxLife? Hashtag ad. Okay, so at least they did the hashtag ad, but it took them a couple days to get to the point of where they, it actually included the disclosure. And trust me when I say this, I've had people that have accused me of sponsored stuff that wasn't sponsored, and they've reported me to the FTC because they're just being complete dicks about it. But, the FTC, I'm pretty sure, has and looked at it and been like, this is nothing, because I've never been contacted by them, because I always put things like that in there. You want to make sure. The Kardashian Jenner sisters are masterful marketers who are making millions of dollars from companies willing to turn a blind eye to the women's misleading and deceptive social media marketing practices, says Tina.org's executive director, Bonnie Patton. It's time the Kardashians were held accountable for their misdeeds. And that's very true. And the only way it's going to happen is if there's a big enough push from people out there. And I would use, and I'm going to use this term, I'm probably catching flag for it, but other influencers that do this as well need to stand up to the Kardashians. Because what the Kardashians, when they get away with this kind of stuff, all it does is say that the smaller guys can get away with it too. You can't. And if a smaller guy looks to the Kardashians as any kind of role model, then that person is equally as dumb, but they should also not follow in their footsteps in terms of not having ethical practices when it comes to, promoting sponsored content or disclosing sponsored content. As brands continue to spend upwards of $250 million a month on influence marketing campaigns on Instagram alone. That's a lot of money to be earned on Instagram. Why aren't I on Instagram? Actually, I am at the Mundane Matt. I don't ever use it, so it's there. The FTC has increased its efforts to rein in deceptive posts lacking proper disclosure. The agency took its first law enforcement action against individual online influencers a few weeks ago, and earlier this spring it also sent letters to 46 influencers including Jennifer Lopez, David Beckham, and Demi Lovato about properly disclosing material connections and brands in social media posts. Now listen, I will play devil's advocate for a hot second here. In regards to this particular situation, and this is coming off of my personal experience working in Hollywood, oftentimes the people that post this are not the people themselves. They're not actually in charge running their Instagram. It's a handler. It's an assistant. It's somebody else. And as a result, those people are the ones who work the deals in some cases, or they're the ones who would post the disclosure. It feels to me like it's kind of a get out of jail free card. Like, it's not me, it's my assistant, Becky. She is horrible and she's now fired. It's kind of feels like that, but really it's just stupidity. The same concept applies to the fappening. All right, 3 years ago, we had that big leak of all the celebrity nudes and people were trying to figure out what the hell happened. Truth is, it was just phishing email attempts that were sent to freaking assistants that don't ever pay attention. And I'll tell you this from personal knowledge. I used to work at a flower shop in Hollywood. Now, it was actually Sherman Oaks. And these were the guys that you know, created the flower arrangements for the Oscars. So we had celebrities and executives and power players in Hollywood calling in every single day. I talked to all of them, and they were for the most part, exceptionally nice people, with the exception of Kris Jenner, who, by the way, is a horrible person to talk to on the phone. I know that from personal experience. So they were all cool and whatever, but identity theft runs rampant. They were always like, oh man, I got to update my American Express card because damn, man, like, just, yeah, we lost it, or there's identity theft. It's rampant in Hollywood. This was in 2012, by the way, 2 years prior to the fappening. So probably this is right around the same time a lot of those guys were in fact collecting some of this material. So yes, I don't know if they fixed it in the last 5 years. I haven't been there, but that's what I experienced 5 years ago. So there's a lot of ineptitude in the entertainment industry, especially when it comes to stuff like this. And at the level that the Kardashians are making money, the FTC putting fines on them is going to, like, you know, it's not even going to be a drop in the bucket, right? It's not even going to remotely be a drop in the bucket. They have enough money to pay it off. So they have really no incentive to actually adhere to these rules because there's not a big enough fine that's going to basically make them go, oh, damn, we should maybe stop doing that. But yeah, guys, it's just a stupid thing that is so easily remedied. All they have to do is just type in the proper disclosure. Their audience isn't going to care. Their audience isn't looking at it for that. The audience isn't even paying attention. But for everyone else who is, like truthinadvertising.org and all the other watchdogs, they're the ones that are going to make sure that these people don't end up, you know, getting away with this kind of crap for long. And it's not just them. It's a lot of other influencers. The Kardashians are just kind of like the top of the spear, or the tip of the spear, you know, or the head of the snake, if you will. And if they can be held accountable, no. But yeah, guys, that's really about it. All they have to do is just disclose it. That's all. That's it. If they disclose it, no problem. And it's like I said, their audience is not going to care. Their audience is not going to freak out by seeing that on there, because ultimately they don't even read that stuff. They just look to see what the Kardashians are up to because they're so blinded by that level of celebrity. That's what a lot of these people do, and they're influenced one way or the other. So it really shouldn't be a problem for the Kardashians. And until the FTC comes in and actually strikes them down as being basically like either the tip of the spear or the head of the snake, whatever analogy you want to use to describe them in terms of social influencers on Instagram and other places, you know, it's going to continue happening. And the downside to it is if the Kardashians aren't stopped, you're probably going to have smaller creators that are going to be realize it doesn't impact them at all. And they're going to end up getting really hurt. And granted, look, to be fair, they will have no one to blame but themselves, but it's something that could be entirely avoided if there was just a better, like, push for it in these actual markets. But like I said, they don't care. They've got the money. They've got the money. They've got the power. They've got the influence. Anything that comes at them from the government is just a check and a hand wave. That's it. You know, and maybe a brief, I'm sorry. And then they're back to their old ways because it won't affect them unless it's something really big and really massive. And at this point, FTC, I'm looking at you. Do something about this. It actually is better for all of us involved. Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.